guys, what is poppin'? In today's video, I have a bunch of products here to talk about. My new profound passion is talking about makeup. Before I would just review it and do looks, and I would talk about it here and there, but now I'm really loving talking about makeup. See, in quarantine, I can't be doing much makeup since I have literally nowhere to go, but I still love makeup, and this is just really keeping me going. So now I'm going to be talking about products that I hate, that I absolutely hate and don't really think are worth the hype. These are products that have been hyped up, some lesser than others, some a lot, that I just don't understand why, because I just don't like them, you know? So without further ado, let's get into the video and talk about products that you should not buy because I don't like them. Some of these might work for you depending on the different reasons why they didn't work for me, but some of these I just don't understand, okay? Alright, let's get into it. Let's start off with the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer. So I heard a lot of good things about this. When I had oily skin, I just really needed a primer to help control my oils. So I got the mini version of this, and why is this hyped up? I don't understand. This does nothing for my skin, nothing for my oils. So many influencers talk about how it's a life changer for their oils, but I just think it's expensive for no reason. I don't think it's bad, but I just think there's so many better oil control. Literally, instead of just using this, use the Maybelline Fit Me powder, and that will probably keep your oils looking better than this primer will. I just don't understand this product. Next is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. This is so hyped up, I'm confused. It's not bad, but like, it's nothing special either. Like, why is this so hyped up? Some of these products, I feel like if they weren't so hyped up, I'd actually like them, but because the expectations were set so high because of the hype, I just feel like I just don't understand, you know? This is just so average. It goes on your eyes and it keeps your eyeshadows fine, but like concealer does the same thing, you know? I think you can go away with concealer and not have to spend the, like, I think 20 bucks it is for this tube. Like, just use your normal concealer and it will do the same job. The Benefit Kabrow. I think Desi and Katie both rave about this, and I don't know, a couple of influencers have too, so I brought it when it was on sale on the 21 Days of Beauty from Ulta. This dried up in like 2 months. There is literally just a dried pot, and if I like flip this over, it falls out. Literally in my hand. It's dry, it just doesn't work, and I have to really scratch in to get pigment, and the brush bristles on top just don't even work. It's just a lot of work to use this, like, as a pomade when you could just go in with, like, a stick pencil. Like, you could go with a NYX microbrow pencil that's, like, what, $8 and not have to deal with this. The Sephora Brush Tip Liquid Liner. This wasn't as hyped up. Like, it wasn't really that much of hype, but a few influencers did mention that the Sephora liquid eyeliners were good. But, like, no. No. Like, what is this? This dried up in like 2 days. It has no pigment. Like the first 2 days I used it, I liked it. And then after like a week, it just dried out. And I kept the cap closed, okay? Before anyone comes for me, I kept the cap closed. It's still dried up. What is this? The Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. Now, before anyone comes for me, I can see why people like this. It is a nice lightweight concealer and it has a good amount of coverage. I just think that there are a lot of drugstore concealers that are better than this. I just don't think that this is worth the hype because there's just concealers better than this. It's not bad, but like e.l.f. Camel Concealer or like, I don't know. Yeah, e.l.f. Camel Concealer or Colourpop Concealer. Way better than this. What the heck is this? Ooh, like, you guys are sleeping on other concealers if this is a concealer you use. Also guys, brief intermission. Sorry if it sounds like I'm hating on things. I'm not, I promise. I'm not hating on anything. I'm just strongly opinionated. Okay? Alright. So, next thing I want to talk about is the Maybelline Superstay Multi-Use Foundation Stick. I had the Maybelline Superstay Foundation. I absolutely love this foundation. Oh, for sure my holy grail from the drugstore. It's definitely my top two. It's between that and the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear. But when this came out, a lot of influencers started reviewing it. Makeup by Shayla on the top of my head, but a bunch of other people too. And everyone said it was great and it was amazing and it was like the life-changing stick foundation. If you have oily skin and you don't like cakey foundation, this is not for you. It's kind of hard to blend, I'd say. If you want to use this for contour in a darker shade, I think it'd be beautiful. But if you want to use this as a full-on, full coverage face foundation, it is cakey. Just flat out cakey. Just putting that out there. The next thing I want to talk about, which I'm going to be talking about very sadly because I don't really want to talk about this because I love the influencer who made these, which is Kathleen Lights. Kathleen, I love you. But like, I love your pigments in collaboration with Colourpop in the shade The Maiden. I think it's the perfect inner corner highlight. So she did come out with 12 different pigments for the whole zodiac sign, but I just don't think all of them are necessary. Not even necessary, but really like usable. These are great once in a while, but I just don't understand why you would do the work of going through a pigment that ends up looking like a shimmer in a normal Colourpop palette. Like, these end up on my eyes just looking like a normal Colourpop shimmer. But I have to do the work of wetting my brush, getting into this, tapping it out, getting a little messy, and then putting it onto my lids. Why wouldn't I just go and take my finger into a Colourpop palette and put it on? I just don't think it's the easiest to use, or it gives you an amazing outcome. And a lot of people really like these pigments. And yeah, the pigments are good on their own. They just aren't like groundbreaking where I wouldn't go for a normal palette shimmer rather than going for these. You know what I mean? The Colourpop Super Shock Cheek Highlighters. I kind of understand the hype on this just because the formula is so smooth and buttery. Like, this is hands down the most smooth, buttery formula ever to exist. But you can only use this with your finger. I've tried so many brushes. I know a lot of people say there's like this one specific Colourpop brush that works with it, but I just don't think that you should need a specific brush to work with this. I have to use my fingers, and sometimes I don't want to use my fingers on my face. Sometimes I want to leave my face a little, you know, cleansed and not my fingertips all over it. So I want to be able to use a brush, and I can't use a brush with this product. But other than that, this product's great. But I just want to mention that I just think that this should be able to be used with a brush, and for the hype, it should be a little bit more usable and a little bit more easy to work with. The NYX Matte Finish Setting Spray. Now, this is one of the first setting sprays that I owned, and I enjoyed this setting spray a lot, okay? I'm not gonna lie. I use this thing, I think it's like my third bottle, fourth maybe. But as soon as I got the Morphe setting spray, I just don't like any other setting spray. And the more I use this spray again and again, the more I realize how bad it is compared to the Morphe setting spray. So I don't think this is a bad product by itself. I just don't think it's great compared to other options on the market, like I said. It could just be because of my love for the Morphe setting spray, but I really do think there is no setting spray as good as that one. And this one just like, it isn't crazy hyped up either. I feel like it was more hyped up back in the day, but I just want to mention it anyway because it's on my mind, you know? Now this is a setting spray literally hyped up for no reason at all. The Urban Decay All Nighter Spray. People swear by the spray that it doesn't make your makeup move and it keeps your oils at bay. Okay, I get it. It might be really good for like the really oily skin people, but why does my skin look like the Sahara Desert when I use this? It's expensive, like $38 for one bottle, and the Morphe setting spray is like $16 or $15 or something like that, and it definitely does a way better job. If I take the Morphe setting spray and just spray it on my face, even with when I had oily skin, and you just take some powder and mattify the areas you need to, you're good to go. Keeps the oils at bay. And this one is meant for oily skin, but like, don't make me look like the Sahara Desert either. Still melt the makeup into my skin and make it look like skin or nice or flattering. Don't make it look just crusty, you know? Foundation time. I have been let down by a lot of foundations in the past, but I threw them all out because I just hated them that much. This one I want to talk about. This one actually has this humongous doe foot, buckfoot, I don't know what you call it, applicator, which is the reason why I brought this foundation. So it was really hyped up. It was known as the cheap version of the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Perfection foundation. And a lot of people said this was good, especially for oily skin when I had oily skin. And it was really good at mattifying and stuff like that. This was good and it was worth the hype and all until it started breaking me out. I just think there's a lot of foundations out there with better ingredients that don't break me out, while this just broke me out so bad. And it's kind of, I don't know, it's not the most, it's a good foundation. It looks good on the skin, but there are foundations at the drugstore that are better, that don't break me out. Just for that reason, it kind of just doesn't live up to the hype. I just wish it didn't break me out, you know? But at the same time, the foundation itself isn't all that great either. But it's not bad. I know I keep saying that about a lot of products, but I think because there's so many options on the market now that some products just shouldn't be hyped up for what they are. The Kylie Cosmetics Salted Caramel Highlighter, why? Like, literally just why? People, okay, I'm not gonna lie. When her highlighters first came off, people did say that it wasn't the most blinding and it wasn't the best. But for some reason, especially the shade Salted Caramel was hyped up. I don't know why, because I own 2 shades of this highlighter because I was like obsessed with Kylie Cosmetics when it first started. I don't know why I don't know why this shade was so hyped up. It's literally the same formula as the other one, the same pigmentation. There isn't much pigmentation. It kind of looks chalky. And it's just kind of powdery, and you just have to build up so much to end up just getting a chalky highlight, you know? It does, if you keep building it up, it does get somewhat highlighty, but like, on the cost of what? Powderness? I don't want to see that. The next product I'm about to show you has got to be the worst out of all of them. Not worst like how it is, like the product actually isn't like too bad, but the most hyped up for no reason. This is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. Everyone says that this is a dupe for the Tatcha Silk Canvas. While I haven't tried the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer yet, maybe that is a holy grail and for some people it works. But like this, yeah, it smooths out the skin, but so does foundation. I don't need this. Like it doesn't make that big of a difference under my skin for what it's been hyped for. Like it doesn't look flawless. Like I could just use a good foundation. I wouldn't be able to tell the difference with this on. And I've done a half and half face, okay? I've used half of this and I've used half of nothing and I still don't see a difference. As long as I use a flawless foundation, this makes no difference. Now, if you have a bad foundation and you're trying to make it work, yeah, this helps. But if you have a good foundation, there's no point of this. I think my Benefit Professional does a better job smoothing out my pores. And for texture, like I said, use a good foundation, a good powder, and this is just not needed. But I'm also not too crazy about primers unless they're hydrating or the Benefit Professional. So it kind of makes sense. So if you are big on primers, maybe this will be better for you. But I personally just think that foundations can work by themselves without this. At least the good ones, with the good powder. Okay, last 2 products are palettes. The Tarte Make Believe Yourself palette. When this first came out, everyone is all about it. All about it. What is in this? What do you see? Okay, I brought this literally because Graveyard Girl, someone else, a couple people, when Tarte was all the rage, I feel like Tarte is dying now, but before it was all the rage, I'm talking like 2 years ago, okay? I know I might be a little late to the game, but I just found this palette and I just had to talk about it. It has one matte that's like a basic transition shade and the rest are random shimmers that just have way too much fallout. Yes, they show up pretty on the eyelids, but my Dose of Colors one do better than this for like the same price, you know? And it just has way too much fallout and some of them are just way too chunky for no reason. And the shimmer ones that aren't chunky just aren't that shimmery. Well, they're shimmery, but like not out of this world as they're hyped up to be. Or, you know, for a palette just for shimmers, I'd expect the shimmers to be nicer, you know? And I don't know, just this ain't it. The last product I have to mention, and boy am I gonna get hate for this, Huda Beauty. Yes, I don't like this palette. I mean, it's not bad, but like, why is it hyped up the way it is? I'm not sure. Like, I'm really just not sure. Let me open up that palette and show you. The mattes are just so standard. It's so, I don't know, it's just dry. Like, in my opinion, the mattes are just way too dry. Yes, they're pigmented. Yes, they're buttery. Yes, they're creamy. But they also have a lot of fallout. They're also very dry. They also cling to dry patches. If you have dry skin like I do now on Accutane, this will cling to your dry eyelids. This will make your eyelids look crusty. It will cling onto the concealer onto your eyelids. There's a lot of fallout. This glitter is almost impossible to work with. The shimmers, not bad, not amazing. There's better out there. The mattes are nice. They blend easily. They're like the Anastasia shadows, but they're just very dry. Like, in my opinion, they're just so dry. And I know so many people love this palette and hyped it up, but it's not bad, like I said, but I just don't think it's the best, you know? Even, like, the Huda Beauty foundation, I returned that. That everyone raves about, but on me, it just would look so cakey and so patchy, and in, like, an hour, my oils would break down. I just didn't understand that. But, in my opinion, not the biggest fan of this. Yeah, her lipsticks are good. I will give her that. But personally, this palette just could have been better. Like, for the hype that it got, it just should have been better, you know? Alright guys, that is it for this video, which are products that do not deserve the hype that it got. I stand by every single claim I made, hate or not, opinion or not. I'm just strongly opinionated, but I'm speaking facts. I'm speaking truth, and I don't want to hesitate to speak on what I think is true. maybe if I ever get big enough, I will never get on these brands' PR list. But guess what? I don't care, because these products need to be spoken about. If you are thinking about getting any one of these products, I suggest to make sure that you are able to return them before you get it. Especially if you are an average beauty consumer that doesn't do YouTube, that doesn't do Instagram, that just likes to do makeup in general at home, naturally, just for yourself. I would definitely look more into these. Alright guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry if I got a little heated, like I said. I'm strongly opinionated, and I am not afraid to speak my mind, to be honest. Okay. Thank you all. Love you all. Thank you for bearing with me throughout this process, and I hope to see you soon in my next video. Bye!